Miss Lewis.
Good afternoon,
How,
Eileen.
how are you today?
I'm good.
So we just wanted to talk to you a little bit about who you are and what your organization is all about.
Okay, well, my name is Clema Lewis. I'm the executive director of the Women's Coalition. I've been with the coalition for 39 years as a volunteer and just went all the way through it from volunteering to training, board of directors, supervisor, staff in the summer to assistant director, co-director, and now executive director.
That's fantastic.
So I done made my way all these years with this agency, so that shows you how much it means to me that I've been here helping.
You're definitely definitely a leader in our community here on St. Croix, and I know you're my shiro for sure, personally
speaking.
speaking.
For saying that.
And so with COVID and everything, how did that affect your services with us? Yes.
So we provide services to all crime victims. Most people think it's just domestic violence and sexual assault, but we provide crisis intervention to everybody, woman, man, family, children. We don't discriminate based on age, sex, sexual orientation. As long as you need help and you're a victim, we'll provide the services. We're also 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. So if it's someone need help on weekends, holidays, evenings, we're here. We're here. We have people who we train to be on duty. COVID was kind of interesting because most of the government shut down, but we were still open. My staff probably would want to choke me for that. Initially, we closed so that we can do like everybody else, clean up, get the mask, the sanitizer, and the social distance. But I felt that it was important for us to stay open because we realized that people needed us more during COVID than ever. You in the house, you on lockdown. Most of the time it's with the abuser, somebody that's already abusing you. So we knew it was critical for us to continue to stay open. So what we did was we stayed open no matter what because we knew how important it was to stay open. When you're on a lockdown with somebody that's abusing you, you can't call nobody for help. Should probably close the other one. You can't call nobody for help. You can't go anywhere. The children are on lockdown, so the children even tend to be abused because they can't get services as well. So luckily people reached out to us because we got Facebook, which is so cool. People reached out to us on Facebook. They reached out to us on Twitter. Some of people emailed us. And it made me feel good to know that they found a way to reach out because we stayed on the radio. We were in the newspaper. We're in the media on a regular basis, letting them know if you need help, we're here. Just call. We're here for you. And after a period, I opened the doors back up because I also realized when somebody is in pain and you providing services, when you're doing the Zoom thing, it's not like doing it in person.
Not personal.
And the clients were like, Miss Lewis, when you gonna open? We ain't like this computer screen. It's so impersonal. And I kind of agree with them. So we opened back up and we put protocols into place about masking and social distance. And we've been open ever since.
That's fantastic.
And we will continue to be open. And even the time when we were closed, I went and bought cell phones so all the counselors would have cell phones and they could respond to clients while they were at home.
Right.
So we wanted to make sure that they always had a line to reach us when they were in crisis because that's critical.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And we thank you. I thank you. I know that the community definitely thank you. And all of your clients, I'm sure they appreciate it very, very much for y'all going above and beyond providing services for the community considering the circumstance.
So whatever, sometimes people just need to talk. This global pandemic has really stressed out people a lot. A lot of people have lost their homes. Families had to live together because remember we had the hurricane and then we went straight into COVID. And believe it or not, we still haven't recovered on St. Croix. So we've had to address, I think, more homelessness and families disputes than we've had way before even the hurricane.
Now, what exactly inspired you to go into work like this? I know you was an educator.
Well, it's
Once upon a
interesting. I was
time.
actually a social worker first.
Okay.
I started off as a social worker at the Youth Rehab Center working with juvenile delinquents because I felt like I could make a difference because actually my first degree is in criminal justice.
Wow.
And then after I did that for a while and realized the system was really messed up and I wasn't making a difference, I decided to go work at adult education. That's how I got into education. It was the first day adult education program in St. Croix, and I was a counselor there. And I liked that, but it wasn't fulfilling enough. And so a couple of people recommended, why don't I try to get in the school system and that I could really make a difference because I could start with the smaller ones. So I actually got a job at Evelyn Williams. And this is in the 80s, folks. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I don't want to date myself, but this was in the 80s. And I got a job at Evelyn Williams Elementary School system that I loved as a counselor. I was there for about 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And that's when the board of directors at the coalition, and this whole time I was always a member of the Women's Coalition. And at that point, the board said, Clema, it's time you step up, leave the government, and start actually working in the agency full time along with Mary Mingus, because we feel the two of y'all can make a difference. And I left the government and I've came here and I've been here actually in the office on the ground running, I think since about 90 something, maybe 93.
Wow.
But what drew me to this work, because I get asked that a lot and you're not going to believe this. In 1980, I believe, or 81, the Women's Coalition had a forum on racism. Can you believe that? In the early 80s? And it was at the Liberian Christian Stead. And when I looked at the newspaper, I said, a forum on racism in a black community, that makes absolutely no sense, but I'm going to check it out. Because originally I'm from Chicago, and Chicago is extremely racist. And I was so happy to be here. I wanted to know what could be racist in the Virgin Islands. So I went to this meeting, and did I get a rude awakening of all the racism that was taking place even in the 80s on St. Croix, which sparked me and made me excited. I asked a lot of questions. I made a lot of comments. And, of course, the organizers of it came to me and said, we would like you to join the Women's Coalition. We think you would have a lot to contribute. And I'm like, I don't know. And that's where it began. So that's how I began my career with the Women's Coalition. Actually, it was all about racism.
Wow.
But then once I got in and I did the training, then my whole focus turned to victims and the victimization and the need and the support, and how women wouldn't get the support and the need that they needed when nobody backing them up. They were kind of out there like Lone Rangers. And the more I did the work, the more I became compassionate, and continue to be compassionate about being right, doing what's right, and being fair to people. And I don't believe in injustices. I don't believe in people being treated wrong, whether it's racism or a woman getting beat up and the police can't respond, or she going to court and can't get a court order because the perpetrator is somebody in a popular position. That has what drove my compassion, because I've seen too many people in this community in pain.
Yeah.
And as long as I have the energy, I will probably continue. I am going to be honest, I am getting to the mark where it's time for me to move on for the younger generation, but I made a complete commitment that everything I got, they will know it before I walk out this building.
That's beautiful.
Because our address first is 45 Fisher Street in Christiansted. So now that people are able to put it all in the computer and stuff, you can just put it 45 Fisher Street 00820, and it'll bring you to this location, even though we got like 3 locations in Christiansted now. But if you end up in either one, they will direct you to the Crisis Center, which is the 45 Fisher Street. Our phone number is 340-773-9272, and that's a 24-hour number. So even at 5 o'clock when the main office closed, you could still reach us after hours, weekends, and holidays. 340-773-9272. As long as you're a victim and you need help, you can call us. We don't...